Greetings, my friends, and welcome, and thank you for clicking on the button and watching this. Yes, I'm here to talk about Ireland Reads. Yes, February 25th, that's Thursday, February 25th, is our new National Day for Reading, to see if you can squeeze in a read. Squeeze in a read, what does that mean? Well, we're going to see if everyone in the country can do as much reading as possible. How much reading do you think you can do? Now, it doesn't matter if you're small or big, you read loads of books, or a book, or a bit of a paragraph, or have your mum and dad read to you. There's loads of different things you can do, and it's very, very special. But you can go to the website, irelandreads.ie, and you can click and you can see how much you're going to want to read. You might say, I'm going to do an hour of reading, or you might do 10 minutes of reading, you might try and do 3 hours of reading, you might try and read a whole book in a day. Now you might think, a whole book in a day, that's going to be tricky for one of these big thick books. Well, you see, when I was a kid, we used to go to Spain on holidays. We had a friend who had a little apartment there, and we would zip over there, and I loved it because they had a big bookshelf, and they had every Agatha Christie book along there, and all they were sort of these mystery books, and someone had done a crime, and you had to read the whole book and find out who was it, and you go, oh, is it that? It's the butler. No, it's that. It's the mechanic. And you could never work it out, and at the very end you'd find out who it was, and you'd be like, oh, I can't believe it. And they had every single book. They had a whole bookshelf about 2 meters long, and every single day I read one book. It was brilliant. So we'd go maybe for 2 weeks, and I'd read 14 books, and I was only very small. It was great, so I loved doing that. So it's very easy. If you get a nice little book, you can read long, and lots of kids' books have loads of pictures and stuff in it, and you could go through 10 or 20 books in one day. It'd be a really good idea. Okay, I just wanted to show you one of our bookshelves. Here we got some bookshelves. This is a big high bookshelf. Look, I'm standing on the chair, my hand's up here. There's a doorway. You've got a cool doorway that goes underneath this bookshelf. But look, we've loads and loads of books up here. Loads of different books that we've read. Some books we still have to read. Look, we got sci-fi books over here, adventure books, and different books down here. There's one up there about sewing, and then we got storybooks up there, and there's different ones. These are these are kind of very old sort of books, which are really interesting, and different things over there. Look, there's Lord of the Rings, and loads of different things. And then there's little books here. This one here, look at this one. Look, how to have a superpower memory. Oh, cool. Loads of different things like that. And you can, where you store your books, you can put them on little shelves, and we have loads of different spots for hiding them in the house, and they look really cool. And when people go in, they go, oh, you read this book. Oh, I read that book as well. Oh, this is very interesting. And you can chat to people about the books you've read, and it's really exciting. Now, I'm going to read you a story in a few minutes, but I want to show you something first. Now, kids, you can see that the kids' books are kind of like this. Look at this. Rabbit and Bear. Really exciting. And loads of cool pictures. Look at these. Look. Picture. Look at that. Oh, look, there's the bear. Look, more exciting stuff. Loads of pictures. The bear going, yes, I've got an idea. You see? Kids' books have loads of pictures, and then you kind of think, well, when I grow up, do they take all the pictures away? They do. And you go, well, why do I want to read a book without pictures? That'd be terrible. No, that's the whole point. Let me show you. So here's one of my books. I didn't write this, no. It's one of the books on my shelf. Lord of the Rings. A huge book. And you might think, let's see all the pictures, Reuben. There's no pictures. What? There's no pictures in it? No pictures? Why would you read a book with no pictures in it? Well, maybe it's a short book. Let's see how many pages. There's over 1,000 pages. Why would I read a book with over 1,000 pages? There's no pictures. I will show you why. Let's go to page 24, where we meet Gandalf for the first time. Let me see. At the end of the second week in September, a cart came in through Bywater from the direction of the Brandywine Bridge in broad daylight. An old man was driving it all alone. He wore a tall pointed blue hat, a long grey cloak and a silver scarf. He had a long white beard and bushy eyebrows that stuck out from beyond the brim of his hat. Small hobbit children ran after the cart all through Hobbiton and right up the hill. It had a cargo of fireworks, as they rightly guessed. At Bilbo's front door, the old man began to unload. There were great bundles of fireworks of all sorts and shapes, each labelled with a large red G and the elf rune. That was Gandalf's mark, of course, and the old man was Gandalf the Wizard, whose fame in the Shire was due mainly to his skill with fires, smokes and lights. His real business was far more difficult and dangerous, but the Shire folk knew nothing about it. Oh, how exciting was that? And there's no pictures. There's no pictures, words. And do you know what? If I even drew pictures, look, if I tried to draw Gandalf, here's Gandalf in his cart. Look, how rubbish is that? The picture, if you had Gandalf in your head, I bet you thought, you're like, oh, this old man with a big long beard, a bit like me, but a much longer beard, and the cool hat, and his big bushy eyebrows poking right out. That was in your imagination. How rubbish is this? You don't have to ruin it with a picture. It's brilliant. When you get older, they take all the pictures out of books, and you just imagine it. And it's much better, because anything you can imagine is so much better than something you can draw or paint, which is really cool. It's really good. Now, I do like pictures, I like art as well, but to have the whole book, and all this, and every single page, your brain makes up all the pictures. It's fantastic. Oh, wait. I just found some more books. Now, hold on. You remember I showed you Lord of the Rings? Here, hold on. It's here. Look, and you go, this book is massive. Well, look at this. this sci-fi book. Now sci-fi, that means science fiction. I love sci-fi because you got this, Lord of the Rings has got like magic and dragons and cool stuff, and sci-fi is all like spaceships and lasers and out in space, and it's brilliant. So this is like stuff in the past, well, kind of made up stuff in the past, and this is all future stuff. But look, you might look at the size of this book, and look at the size of this book. Look, you kind of go, this book's nearly as big, but this is book 1. This is book 1. Look, here's book 2. Book 2, they're the same size, and there's another book. Look, book 3. Book 3, book 3. Look how big the book is. The story is like this. It's absolutely massive. Look how big. Can you imagine? Look, there's Lord of the Rings, and like the movies are like 9 hours long if they each one. And look, this is a big sci-fi story. That's the whole story. The story is so, I have to put them down. I can't even hold them, so heavy. Put them down. You actually get a little book. You can buy a book that explains all the stuff in the story, because there's so much characters. There's so many different things going on. They tell you about all the spaceships and stuff. It's like almost doing homework. I had to buy a book that helped me explain the other story. That's a gigantic story. You can totally get lost in it. Oh, well, I'll do a story for you. I'll read a story for you. Well, the story I'm going to do for you is very serious. No, very serious. There's no smiling or laughing allowed. I want serious, straight faces. Okay? Okay, no smiling or laughing. Today's one is called Monsters Love Underpants. Monsters Love Underpants! Ridiculous. Here we go. Look! They're in their pants! Okay, lots of pants. Here we go. This guy looks tough. This guy looks tough. Are we ready? Here we go. Monsters think it's monster fun to creep around all scary, but there's something they love more than looking mean and hairy. Monsters all love underpants! They think pants are fantastic, and they like all patterns, shapes and styles, and twanging pants elastic. Oh, look at the monsters, look at the pants! Some prowl through dingy dungeons. Oh, that's a bit like Lord of the Rings. Ooh, you hear them howling loudly. Creak, one finds squeaky armor pants and clanks around so proudly. Oh, that sounds painful. Drool monsters from the steamy swamp fill pants with gooey slime. But oops, their pants get slippery and slide down all the time. Wild, woolly mountain monsters make explorers faint with fright. Clump, they snatch their frozen pants and run off in the night. Frozen pants! They'd be very cold. At the bottom of the ocean, a pirate ship now rests, where sea monsters wear pants with jewels they've pinched from treasure chests. Look at the monster. Oh, this will go sideways. I can turn the book sideways. Look, it's a super high book. The spiky, spooky space monsters all wave and roar. Hooray! When out from blackest, deepest space, bright bloomers float their way. Oh, pants from space. Pants from space. Let's keep going. Oh, it's a huge guy. It's not the sand inside his pants that makes this monster tetchy. His underpants are way too small. I wish they were more stretchy. You see, also, reading books is great because you get tetchy. I didn't even know that word, tetchy. So now, if someone's really annoyed, you can go, oh, don't be so tetchy. You see, you can make up new words. It's cool. Okay, great learning new words. Oh, what's this going in here? It's Saturday, their disco night, held in a secret cave. You can hear the music. The pastor, shh, it's wobbly pants. To get inside the rave. Look, there's the bouncer. Very good. Oh, they're dancing. The monsters show their pants off as they dance the monster bop. Their pants-clad bottoms jig and jive till someone yells out, stop! Oh, it's almost daylight. Quick, back home. We can't risk being spotted, for no one will be scared of us. All pants in pants all striped and dotted. Yeah, they don't look very scary there. They look more ridiculous. Oh, so if you hear strange scuffles from beneath your bed, beware. You might just catch a monster trying on your snazzy pair. Look, and more pants. Brilliant! So you might wonder, why do adults keep all these books on these shelves? They have books like everywhere on shelves and stuff. Now you might have books on shelves as well in your bedroom, and you might think, oh yeah, I'm going to get a new book, I'm going to get a new book. But all these books are, well, you see, adults, they sometimes love to reread their books. Like, if you really like The Lord of the Rings, that story, and it takes so long, going into the beginning again, you're like, oh, you're going to do the whole story, even though you know the ending. You know the way you're reading a book and you know the ending. It doesn't matter because you're so excited that you're in the story. And remember, when you read a kid's book, they're very, very short. But as you get older and you can read longer books, look, you get lost inside these huge, gigantic stories. And it might take you days and weeks to read it because lots of little books for kids are very short. You read them very quick, which is lovely. But as you get older and you get more and more, and you get more and more into the story, and it's brilliant, and you get totally lost in all the stuff like that, which is great. Now I have little books as well. Look, I have little short books like this. this. This is a book here, and this is about how to make friends and how to win friends, and it's really, really good. And even though I've read it, every so often I kind of go, yeah, I'll take it out and read it again, and I have little bits I underlined in the book where I'm like, oh, don't forget to, that's an important bit that I like that, you see, and I read it again, and it makes you stick it in your head. If it's something you think that's really important, I should definitely read that again, and you can stick it in your brain, and you won't forget it. So it's good, and you keep it up on your shelf, and then you see it, you go, oh, I haven't read that in ages, I'll pull it down again. And sometimes the first time you read a book, you might have been on holiday, and the next time you actually see it, and you pick it up and you read it, you think of that holiday. Like me with the Agatha Christie books. If I ever am reading a book and there's all mystery, I'm trying to work out, and a detective comes in, I always think of being back in Spain and sitting there under the umbrella out of the sun, because look at me, I might burn very easily in the sun, and I read the book, and books can bring it back through time to where the first place you were when you read it. So they're really cool. You got these little time traveling machines sitting up on your shelf, and you're like, today I'm going to time travel to Spain, bring out the book, here we go, it's great. Now when I was a kid, one of my favourite types of books were these choose your own adventure. They're brilliant. This one's called Space and Beyond, but they'd loads of them, and they were kind of short. They weren't too, but they're like less than 100 pages, and they had pictures and stuff. Look, there's a huge explosion. Look, huge explosion. And what else have we got here? And look, dinosaurs, what's going on in space? There's some sort of weird spaceship, but they're really cool, because what you do is you start reading the story, and then you get to a bit where it'd say you can do this and turn to this page, or do this and turn to this page, and you have a choice, and you can pick where you want to go. So you're like, I'm going to fight the bad guy, I'll go to page 23, and you go to that page and you see what happened, and the books have different endings. Look, 42 different endings. Imagine reading a book and it's different every time you read it. That's not bad. I love it. This is great. So I've loads of these. I haven't thought, maybe I could write one of these. So I did, right, look, this is Talisman the Unicorn. What? It's a book I wrote, it's great. And all you have to do is, you start off the story, and then you make a decision, and you decide what happens. Let me show you. We'll try it, here we go, okay. You are Talisman the Unicorn, and you love adventures. What would you like to do? Do you walk in the forest? Do you fly in the sky? Do you eat something yummy? Or do you fall asleep? I'm going to walk in the forest. Turn to page 2. You trot into the forest. Every step through the flowers smells beautiful and different. Do you eat a flower, or do you hide in the flowers? I'm going to hide in the flowers. Number 7. You dive into the flowers and hide. Just then, a huge giant appears. He leans over to have a sniff of one of the flowers quite near you. Do you jump out and give him a fright, or do you flick his face with your tail? Don't forget, you're a unicorn. I'm going to jump out and give him a fright. Frightening a giant. I never frightened a giant before. That's number 16. Let's go to 16. It's so funny. I wrote this so long ago. I can't remember all the stories because there's so many different bits. Summoning all your energy, you wait until the giant is only an inch from your face, and then you jump out and scream, boo! He falls backwards into a river and shouts, I can't swim! Oh no. Do you lean in so he can grab your horn to escape, or do you dive in too? What do we do? Let's say we'll lean in so he can grab onto our horn so he can escape. Because we've been mean to the giant. We've got to help him now. Standing carefully on the riverbank, you lean over. The giant grabs your horn, but he is so heavy that you get pulled in and you both fall underwater. Oh no! Do you swim to the surface, or do you stay underwater? Don't know how long I can hold my breath. I'll swim to the surface. Let's go to the top. Number 70. Swimming to the surface, you notice that your hooves have turned into flippers. It must be a magic river. You are now a mer-unicorn. Half unicorn, half mermaid. What? Do you splash your flippers, or do you try to remember what you know about mer-unicorns? I don't remember that. I think I'll just splash my flippers. Number 142. The numbers are getting big now. 142. Splashing your flippers, the water gets in the giant's eyes. You laugh and swim to the shore, but you cannot walk as your hooves are gone. Remember, you've got flippers. The giant grabs you by the tail. Do you shake him off, or do you shake off your tail? What? Your tail comes off. I'm going to shake off my tail. Shake off my tail? I'll have no tail. This is the ending. Shaking hard, the giant falls backwards as your tail comes off in his hands. You roll into the river and swim away. Once you think you are safe, you manage to pull yourself up onto the riverbank. It takes a week for your rear legs to grow back. Thankfully, unicorns can grow back bits of their body again. Standing up, you decide to stay away from rivers for a very, very long time. The end! Haha, you see. But look at the book. The end, look, the end. There's hundreds of pages of endings. 100, because I love that. And this on the book, look, this one here. 42 endings. I was like, boo, that's rubbish. This one, my book, 250 endings. I want so that every time you read, you're going to go, I have no idea what's going to go on. No idea. And look inside, no pictures. It's all in your brain. You see, it's great. I'll put the website here. If anybody wants to buy it, you can see it there. But it's great. But don't worry about my book. There's loads of books out there. It's really, really exciting and cool. So I wanted to show you something that the books really help me with my imagination. Now, I love dice. Look, I collect loads of dice. Look, dice. Look, a big bag of dice. Oh, I've got cool ones, big giant ones. I've got funny ones that break into pieces. I've got round dice. This is 100 sides on it. Loads of different dice. I love dice. But then I realised that people sell storytelling dice. Story, but I love stories. Oh, look, I'm over here. Hold on. This big bag of dice, and these don't have numbers. These have pictures. Look. There's somebody walking or someone shouting, and you know what you can do? The idea is that you pick some of these and you put them out and you can tell stories. My kids love this. It's great. So what I'm going to show it to you now. I'm going to grab a handful of dice, and you can buy, like, these are Rory story cubes, but you can find lots of them in different shops to buy. And if you read loads of books, it really improves your imagination, and you can make up stories so that even if you don't have a book, if you have some dice, you can make up your own stories. I'll show you. I'm going to grab some. I have no idea what I'm going to get. Okay, I'm going to grab this many dice. Okay, I'm going to make a story right now. I hope I don't drop them. I'll put them in my pocket when I finish. Okay, so starting the story with, a helmet. A helmet. Now, I know people think that Vikings have horns on their helmets. They don't. That's just in cartoons. But we'll just say there was once a very brave knight, and he had the strongest helmet in the world. And no monsters could ever get through his helmet because it was made of the toughest metal known to man. Even tougher than Iron Man's metal. Really, really tough metal, you see. But one day, let's pick a dice. What happened? Then one day, his friend said, hey, you've got to come this way, and I want to show you something. He's like, well, what are you going to show me? He goes, well, come this way, but bring your helmet. Definitely bring your helmet. Let's pick another dice. I don't know what's going to come up. Now it's a long journey. We got to go on a long journey. We got to wiggle around the map here. Wiggle around the map to get to the huge mountain. So they went past the water, around to the forest, and he's like, this helmet is very heavy on my head. He goes, yes, but just keep going, you're going to get there. And what do they find when they got there? Good grief. It was a dinosaur. And the dinosaur was like, and he ran over and tried to bite him on the head, but couldn't do it because he had his big helmet on, and it went clang, and his mouth got stuck on top of his head, and he was like, this is great. But then, what does he do? What is that picture? What is that? I don't know what that is. Is it a tree? It's a tree! Let's say it's a tree. We'll pretend it's a tree. This is just your imagination. So the knight and his friend ran up the tree because the dinosaur was trying to bite his friend, and his friend didn't have any armor on. And the knight's like, quick, come up in the tree. And the dinosaur started chomping on the branch of the tree about trying to make it fall over. Oh my goodness. So then, what is this? What is this picture? Half the picture I don't even know what they are. So you got to make it look like, it's someone who's got their hands over their eyes. Look, they're covering, their hands are over their face. That was the knight's friend, because the knight was not scared. He was very brave. But the knight's friend was like, this dinosaur's going to eat the tree. It's going to fall over and it's going to eat us. And the knight was like, don't be scared. We've got several dice left. We can survive. And the next bit of the story was, what is this? I don't know what is this. What is this? I can't even, it's a big horse. It's a Trojan horse. Yes. So then they thought, I know what we'll do. Like the Trojan, the warriors used the Greek warriors hid inside the Trojan horse. That's what it is. They said, we will do this. We will hide inside the tree. So they got their sword and they dug a hole in the tree and they hid inside the tree. And the dinosaur looked up and was like, what? There's no one in the tree. Where's the guys gone? We're going to eat them. But they were gone. They're hidden inside the tree. And then we got, what is that? I can never see this thing. This is, they put a sign on the tree that said, all dinosaurs are not allowed to stand near this tree. Now the dinosaur was very clever and he read the sign, was like, I'm not allowed near the tree. And the dinosaur walked away, and they were laughing and they're going, haha, this is great. We can escape, and we're going to go back and make a space suit. No, we're going to make a suit of armor that'll cover every inch of our body for both of us. So the next time the dinosaur won't be able to get us because we'll be totally covered in. He'll be getting 3 dice left. And then they realised that they were stuck inside the tree. They're like, but we can't get out of the tree. The dinosaur's got away, but now we're actually trapped inside the tree. 2 dice left. How's the story going to end? And they're like, but it's like being we're trapped in a safe. There's no way of getting out of the safe. Help! And now the final ending with the final dice. I don't know what side it's going to be. It's going to be, look, he found a magic potion inside. Look at the little potion, and he poked over the potion and went, and the magic potion went, and burnt a hole in the tree. And they were so lucky they escaped, and the dinosaur run away because the scientists scared him away, and they thought, we will live to fight for another day. Ha! That was all just out of my head right now. Because if you read loads of books and you get stories like that, you can make up your own stories, and one day you might be a really cool author and you can write stories at different things like that. Oh, brilliant. So there's something that I collect, which is board games. Now I have about nearly 250, I think. They're actually behind this little screen here on shelves. Look at all my board games. Look, the stacks up here. They go here. They go down here. They across down here. Look at this. Up here. Yeah, more. There's more of them. Look how many there are. There's tons of them. Tons of all silly different games. Look. Uno. A kid a can. Haha, the Spanish version. Ninja dice. Brilliant. Here's one of them here. Look. Oh, the quest for El Dorado. Oh, it's very exciting. You go off and you're running through a jungle and going through water, and you're trying to find this temple and get all the treasure and gold. And whoever gets there first wins. You see, it's great. Now, because if you read books, you get better with words. It makes you can play games better. Let me show you. I'll put the box over here, because in the game you have to get these cards. Look, and you might get these guys here. Look, there's a scout. You get a scout, and he's got a big sword. He helps you cut through 2 pieces of jungle. Or you get a trailblazer. He helps you cut through 3 bits like that. So my kids, I were able to look through all this. But when they got to the bigger ones, let's say this one here, they go, but there's all words on the card. We don't know what to do. But now that they've got a bit older, my son is 9 now. He'd look at the cards and he's like, it's a compass, Dad. This here, draw 3 cards from your draw pile. So he knows if he gets a compass, he can put more cards into his hand, and he might be getting more scouts or things like that, and he can go further through the jungle. So by reading different books and learning all the words, he was suddenly able to go, Dad, I think I just won this game. And I was like, what? Hold on, I am way older than you. And he's like, yes, Dad, but now I can read the words. And he knows all the abilities. Look, and there's loads, all these different things here. And the good look, there's to get a journalist, and there's different things over here. Like you can be an adventurer, but by reading all the words, he suddenly was able to beat me at all the games. So if you want to beat your mum and dad at games, read loads of books, learn all the words, and then you can beat them. And they'll be like, let me check the rules. Can you actually do that? And you're like, yes, Dad, I have actually beaten you at the game. There's another wonderful thing about books, you know, and that is that they don't cost very much. And of course, if you go to the library, they're free. They don't cost anything at all. You can just take out as many books you like and bring them back and bring them out and bring them out and all that sort of stuff. And it's fantastic. But if you go to charity shops, you can get books really cheap. Look at this cool book. Look, got this book here for my kids. Anansi, the Clever Spider. How much money did it cost me? €1. €1. There must be like just 1 page in this book. Let's have a look and see. Anansi, the Clever Spider discovered this cunning plan in this new story based on West African and Caribbean folklore. Sounds interesting. Let's see. €1. Can't be good for €1, surely. Let's look and see. Oh, look at this. Anansi the spider looked at the world around him and sighed a big sigh. He was a very clever, very wise spider, and knew a lot about most things, but he wants to be cleverer and wiser still. It'll be easy, said Anansi to nobody in particular. I'll simply gather up all the wonderful knowledge in the world, all the brilliant cleverness, and all the super skills to do everything. Look, he's all the books. Look at all the books he's got. Oh, more pictures. First, Anansi had a big problem to solve. Where am I going to keep all the wisdom and cleverness when I find it, he thought to himself. I'll need something very big and very safe to put it in. So Anansi set to work and made an enormous pot especially for the task. In fact, it was so enormous that Anansi had trouble lifting it. Harumph, groan, he muttered under his breath. Even with his 8 legs, couldn't lift it. The next day, Anansi set out with his pot in search of every bit of wisdom that he could find. He travelled far and wide and saw lots of wonderful new things, but most importantly, he learnt lots too. Every day, Anansi added new things to his big pot of wisdom, and every day his pot became heavier. Finally, there was no space in the pot for anything else, which was just as well, because Anansi could hardly lift it. Then Anansi started to worry. Where can I hide my pot of wisdom to keep it safe? He thought, looking around and scratching his head with one of his 8 legs. Will it be safe in a hole in the ground? He wondered. No, the rabbits live there. Maybe it'll be safe in a cave, he pondered. No, the bats live there. Or in the forest, he considered. No, all kinds of chattering creatures live there. Just as Anansi was running out of ideas, he spotted a thorn tree standing on its own. Oh, look at the spikes. Its trunk was covered in huge spikes, and even its leaves were spiky. Perfect, shouted Anansi in delight. Using vines to tie his enormous pot to his tummy, Anansi started to climb the tree very slowly. Anansi was so busy struggling with his heavy pot that he didn't notice his son Nikuma, that's a cool name, Nikuma, watching his every move. What a meal he's making of it, laughed Nikuma to himself. And he was right. Every time Anansi tried to climb the spiky tree, the pot of wisdom slipped and slid, making his climbing very difficult indeed. At last, Nikuma could keep quiet no longer. Hey, Dad, he shouted, tie the pot to your back, not your front. It'll make much easier climbing. Anansi almost fell out of the tree in surprise. Ouch, he yelled as he caught hold of a particularly big spike. How annoying that Nakuma had spotted him, and how annoying that his idea was such a good idea. After all, it was he, Anansi, who had the pot of wisdom, not Nakuma. Anansi threw the pot of wisdom down in a rage. As the pot crashed to the ground, it shattered and tiny bits flew everywhere, and so did all the wisdom that was inside. All the knowledge and all the skills and all the cleverness flew free up and up into the air, floating away on the breeze. As Anansi and Nakuma watched, storm clouds gathered above them. Suddenly there was a deafening clap of thunder, and it started to rain. It rained and rained and rained. It rained so hard that the water washed the wisdom out of the air, onto the land, and into the streams and rivers. It's a very wise river. The rivers of wisdom flowed into the sea, and as the tides went in and out around every bit of land, the wisdom began to spread around the whole wide world. Wow was all that Anansi and Nakuma could say as they watched the amazing sight from the very highest, very driest place they could find. Wow, they're up really high. So thanks to Anansi and his clever son, there is now a little bit of wisdom for everyone in the world. Good job, guys! And that includes you. Oh, €1 in a charity shop! Absolutely brilliant! Got to make sure, go to charity shops. It's fantastic when they open up again. Look at this. And you get cool books, and they're so skinny. You can put hundreds of these on your shelf. Oh, brilliant. And another really cool thing about reading books is that if you like reading a certain book, there's probably lots of other books that are just like that one as well. For example, I like a bit of magic as well. I like doing magic. And, obviously, Harry Potter, which is great. But if you like the first book, you're probably going to like the second book and the third book and the fourth book, because it's the same characters and you get to know more about them as well. So just instead of reading one book over and over and over again, which sometimes lots of very young kids are like, I like this story, I just want to hear this story, don't read anything else. And that's good. It's nice to have a nice good story. But if you read the story and then the author writes another book and goes, oh, you saw Harry when he was young, what if Harry grew older? And you get to see him and then later, and then Harry becomes a teenager when he gets older. And that's really exciting to follow over lots and lots of different books, something like that. So if you liked Harry Potter, if you liked the first book, then you like the second one and the third, and you have a whole ton of books to read, and it's brilliant. And it mightn't be hard, but maybe you don't like magic at all. Maybe you like something totally different indeed. You might be like, I love fishing. I love fishing. Maybe there's a book about a guy who loves a fisherman who goes off fishing. Oh, and he goes off there and maybe he catches sharks or something like that. You never know what he could do. And there might be a book about that, and then they might write another book. And whatever thing you like, there'll be some book written about that with some characters, some story. So you can go to the library and you can go, I'd like a book about mushrooms, because I love seeing mushrooms. I love the shape of mushrooms, and you guarantee there'll be some book about maybe some elf that lives under a mushroom or something like that. Or it might just be someone who shows you how to grow mushrooms in your garden. There's loads of different things like that. So you can always ask your librarian, and they know, they're very clever, they know lots of books. And even if they don't, they'll find out for you and they'll be able to tell you what's going on, and you can read that book and learn stuff. It's really cool. So I hope you enjoyed our little chat about books, and some of the stories was exciting. Don't forget to go on to irelandreads.ie Thursday 25th of February, and make sure you see if you can squeeze in a bit of reading there. You try a whole book, maybe a little sort of children's book like that, or if you're a bit older, you try a bigger book, and it'd be exciting. But even just do a little bit of reading and get into the habit of doing it, and you'll be flying, and all the cool things from reading will happen to your brain. That's exciting. Thanks guys, hope you enjoyed it. Bye. I've been Reuben. Oh, see ya.